Hello everyone, my name is Wade DeWalby. Now, obviously, um, I've been absent for a while, I should say, on recording and stuff and streaming. But don't be too worried. So we'll be talking about something real to happen. Now, obviously, I heard about the X37B, not heard of it, but actually seen it. Not seen it in real life. I meant like, okay, we get it. Now, if you're not familiar with the space plane, it's actually a space plane. This is the only space plane relative to the space shuttle, which decommissioned in 2011. However, this is the only space plane that we know of that is actually workable. However, it's worked by the United States Air Force. We really don't know what's inside. Now, here's some theories I actually have, and then we'll be talking about the werewolf space plane because I have to do something else that I don't think I should talk about. Might be private. So let's get this done for SORT STEREM, which possibly has never been heard of, but whatever. Now, the fundamental things about the X37B is that it is reusable. Now, every space plane that you see is reusable, hence the space plane. Now, this is not like a two-stage, all right? This is actually a vertical launch, which means whatever it's called, but it's going to be launched like this. Now, there are going to be the Atlas that launches it. Now, I'm not sure when it was launched, but I believe it was 3.5 years in space, according to my mom, that analyzes how many days of relative to it. So I believe it was launched in 2017. Now, do you remember something about a space plane to launch at the time? I might be correct. I may have to go to Wikipedia for that. So I really don't know. That's the only type of space plane I really don't know. Pretty much everybody, except for the people that work on it, probably knows what they're dealing with because it's actually classified. But here's some theories. Now, obviously, it's not a nuclear weapon because I don't think it might be. Well, we don't practice nuclear weapons anymore since the fact that it is illegal in pretty much around the world, unless if you're alien civilization, which will be very scary. Yeah, probably there's a lot of movies about that, but hopefully that won't happen unless we have friends. We like to make friends, I mean, violence kills everybody. It's just terrible. So the X37B is, of course, used to be owned by NASA and Boeing. Now it's NASA, Boeing, and United States Air Force. Yeah, so technically it's not going to have, well, you think that the United States Air Force is, with, airplanes and fire jets, like the, F-18s, flying over the formation, blasting people to death. No threats required. No, it's actually a very cool space plane. It's really cool. I love it, even though that there might be warp technologies already made. I've actually talked about this, but most likely, I don't think we're going to be able to talk about the werewolf space plane because I think I might be a bit late. So we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to talk about just the X37B because I don't have enough time. I got to hurry up, get this done pronto. Now, the reason why the X37B is possibly classified, okay, I said it before, warp technology, okay? We're probably working on work technology. Second of all, might be new types of engines, which they did demonstrate one of them, which is the I engine. We already have possibly tested it on that big Falcon Heavy rocket that launched a bunch of satellites. I think that was a recent Falcon Heavy. Now Elon Musk is priority. I remember all those rocket launches. I watched, I think, 3 live launches from SpaceX. Because of the fact that Elon Musk was launching so many rockets, it's just like, wow. Actually, pretty much more quicker than any possible that I know of in my lifetime. It's possibly the only rocket launches that I've seen in live on YouTube. Me and my mom watched them. However, the only one of my favorite ones was really chilling. The InSight launch was launched on May 5th, 2018. And I remember this was before. Oh, by the way, here's some information that my mom found on an email about my termination in my other account. it just said gibberish. It really did not explain why they terminate me. It really just said something. My mom said something about a contract. I mean, I'm gonna have to say it, bullshit. Now, thankfully, my mom did ask me some other questions. Perhaps children might be the answer. Not pedophile. No, not that. No. I meant that if they're children watching YouTube for educational purpose only, and if their account gets terminated, the teachers will probably get angry because they probably have videos on there to demonstrate and stuff. So I think they might calm down with the strictness. They have to, because that's probably part of the education government thing. So yeah, if that actually is a handle of, YouTube has to have to go down with some, well, they do have, I think my mom doesn't know this, which is called a very annoying child app, basically, and a music app. They're both annoying apps that are for YouTube, and I really don't care about it. I mean, movies is okay. For some reason, movies are free, which makes no sense. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how movies work and how are they still, why are they like, you don't have to pay them, but like they become payable, but they don't. It makes sense because it's about the contracts and stuff, and really it is about the contracts and who actually did it first. Now, we're not going to be talking about politics around here, which I think we should, but I don't think around here. However, I think you could, but I probably should have put the politics in the category so I won't get in trouble, because there's a lot of things going on with America. And if you possibly, I'm being honest with you, anybody, I mean, it is a great country. I'll give you that. It is a brilliant country, but there are some flaws. Now, Donald Trump is working on this, and a lot of people don't like him, but I love him. My mom does. So I think he's going to work things out, because it's just, I don't like when people just make fun of a president. I mean, he's fixing things. Now, he actually wanted us to go to space, which I think he didn't mention about space battle. I forgot, but blazes of that. Perhaps the X37B will be a good, reliable space plane. Now, imagine, putting a probe in there, because I think this might be a cheaper way. Pretty much a lot of space planes, and especially if it's on launch on the Falcon, that's going to be pretty much cheap. Well, I always, now speaking of, I think they did a landing just recently. I think it was on the news and stuff, so you probably heard of it because it's kind of important. It's part of the United States. I mean, it's like the government. I mean, yeah, it's really small. It's just like imagine children under this, don't look at this. Okay, never mind. So if a drone for the United States Air Force got along with a just space shuttle and they smash together, you've got the X37B. That's exactly what it is. It's basically an unmanned space plane that is remote. So yeah, it's really small. It's that small, like a little toy. It's big, but it might be lightweight. Looks like it's made out of carbon fiber, which you could theoretically, if it's empty, you could tow it. Which I think they did, but I think they might as well have an engine and stuff. It lands at the Cape Canaveral Air Force Base, or I should say, well, it is not Air Force Base. There is an Air Force Base there, according to Google Maps and Earth and stuff, because I looked at there. Actually, something's wrong with the. Speaking of actually Google Maps and Google Earth, there is a line. Now, if you go to Cape Canaveral and you look at the launch center, one of them is 3D and one of them is not. That's a problem they should fix, because there's a line between the Atlas launching area, and it just cuts off. And it just cuts off from the important ones, which are the big launching pads, which were the Saturn V rockets and the space shuttle. And then the SpaceX heavy launch one. But yeah, the big launch pad, big ones, launch complex, And you got the ones over here that are abandoned. I think they're just historical, and they're just for this Titan, old Atlas, old, Titan, ballistic missiles, Oh, by the way, actually, my mom found something that was really actually caught my eye. It was about, of course, my grandpa worked in the United States Air Force. Hence that he, since I know pretty much a lot. Now, this actually is a true story. Now, this might blow your mind become possibly a very popular person. Now, this makes no sense because my grandpa actually, now, if you're not like a space fan, you probably don't know much about a lot of famous people that went to the moon. I kind of forget, but I just know about a few of the astronauts in the past through the 60s and 70s. Because after that, I know there's Scott Kelly because he's recent, and I don't know, and then of course you got that guy, and then you got the commander woman from the space shuttle, and I really don't remember. It's just, it doesn't catch in my brain. Except for Scott Manley, because he's an astronaut. He is a YouTuber, and he also is amazing, and he's also taught me a bunch of stuff. This is going to become complicated, actually. It's pretty elongated now. As a matter of fact, it's extremely wisely, as is actually kind of interesting to look at. When you look at I should say, by the way, I was mentioning after all that code notion I made, oh, god damn those dogs, about the SLS. I think I mentioned you guys this. The single SLS, or a single launch system, or something like that. SLS. I wanted to use, I wonder. Now, of course, Kerbal, every time it kind of crashes. Now, I do have two saves. One of them is NASA, one of them is the Russian ones. And I believe the Russian one doesn't have that much craft. The NASA one, however, you know how much NASA launched, right? Yeah. So basically, it's just so much that I even have the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, like, wow. Oh. All stock. Of course, I do have wasted money just because I want to make extra. And then there's Kerbal Space Program 2. Great. It's not going to be released. I think about getting it because of how cool it is. Because it's Kerbal. I mean, but still, it's a magnificent space plane, no less. I was thinking about putting, not the werewolf space plane, but I meant like the some type of space plane for the SLS. And then, because it reminds me that Russian Soviet rocket that got smashed by the roof, the Yagina. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, but if you do, that's great. Because they had the Baron, which was the same thing as Space Shuttle, exactly the same, except it probably would have used jet engines. Pardon me with my, of course, dots and stuff. I haven't shaved in a while, and I think that might be a problem. But be honest with you, putting on this side, just like the space shuttle, and then just launch it up using the SLS. I should try it on Kerbal, but I just mentioned to you that it sometimes would crash, so I'm gonna have to adapt by that, and just have to, because it's screwy, because I really can't get all my, experiments really done to prove to the people that I stream to make sure that the spaceplane works. However, the werewolf spaceplane, however, has been proven. It also has been actually been theorized in public very far. Now, obviously, I said short stream. Now, I really, guys, actually, just a bit moment. But for anything, it is extremely reliable for, I'm just making words up. It's just have to, just some things going on. I have to go, guys. What?